Hi everyone, welcome back to my second video for 52 hard questions, where I actually this time get to ask myself a question. And this week I kind of wanted to open up and start a discussion maybe about something that I've struggled with from time to time over many years. This week's question is, do you still face periods of depression? Let's get right into it with this one. Quick and easy answer, sometimes yes, but I have learned how to pull myself out of those moments as quickly and as painlessly as possible. In this video, I just want to talk about things that used to really get me down, how I've overcome them, and if there's anything that I still experience today. So you guys do not need me to tell you this. Depression fucking sucks. Period. I've spent a majority of my teenage years in some of the deepest and darkest holes that at the time I never thought that I would even be able to get out of. There were just so many different factors that used to clutter my mind. Some of these things include, issues with connecting with people, knowing that I was different and feeling ashamed about it but not really embracing who I was as a different person, feeling lonely and oftentimes feeling misunderstood, a lot of bullying and a lot of ostracism, consistently and constantly just being berated at home, whether it was from my family or from feeling like I wasn't gonna amount to anything, or feeling like I wasn't worth anything, or just ultimately growing up and feeling like I was gonna become a failure. And the one that I still struggle with today, which is feeling like an invisible person. And I'm gonna get more to that in a second. And I used to dwell on these things all the time when I was younger because I just didn't know how to get myself out of them. And these things would just clutter my head super hard, and at the time I just felt really, hopeless and alone, and I just didn't know what to do. So what I've learned when I get into these holes is that I have a couple of tendencies. Some of them good and some of them not so good. The not so good ones include going out and buying just a bunch of shit that I know that I don't need, or things that will just take up space, but at the moment I just really want them. Drinking, partying more, smoking more cigarettes than I know that I should. And one thing that I'm not particularly proud of is just not being attentive to people when I know that I could be more attentive. But some of the good ones are, throwing myself into my work or into school and becoming like a temporary workaholic and just being extremely productive. Maybe trying to be funny, kind of like coping with humor, if you will. As I've grown up, I've become one of those people who's really learned how to look on the brighter side of things, or how to see the good in a situation. This goes for a bunch of different places, like, life in general, people. Sometimes I usually think to myself, oh, I have so many great things going on, my life's actually going in a direction. Things are going to go great. Now see, this mindset of looking on the bright side of things and staying positive is half the battle. And so that's why when people I'm around usually see me, I'm usually pretty bubbly or pretty cheerful or pretty upbeat, things of that nature. But like I said, a positive attitude is just half the battle. It doesn't really take away from the fact that things are still there that will still make you not happy or will still bring you down. What I've learned to do is work on those things that make me feel unhappy or make me feel like I'm stuck. I'm the kind of person who wants to fix things and I want to make things better, and so that's exactly what I did with this aspect of my life. For example, instead of feeling ashamed of being different, I've learned to embrace it. Instead of facing issues with connecting with people, I've learned to empathize and be more compassionate and more open-minded to kind of understand where people are coming from. Instead of being constantly berated at home, I made that decision to move away from home and down to Southern California 7 years ago. And now I don't go home for very long periods of time. You know how people say, after you break a bone, it becomes the strongest part of your body after it heals? I mean, I wouldn't be able to understand because I've never broken a bone before. I wanted to take the broken parts and the weak parts of my mindset and my personality, who I am, and try to make them strong as fuck. So the question at hand is, do I still face periods of depression? Sometimes, but when I do, it's not for a long enough period of time for me to get affected by it the same way that I used to. Now, being where I am right now, I have kind of gotten to the point where I feel like I understand where this kind of feeling comes from. And so do you remember that whole list I listed off earlier about the things that used to make me feel like I was in a hole back when I was a teenager? There is still one thing that just stick with me to this day that I personally haven't really figured out or fully wrapped my head around it yet. It's feeling invisible. By this, I don't mean like I'm a fucking ghost or anything. I'm not fucking Casper. I mean like feeling like I'm just a regular person who's, you know, easily interchangeable and replaceable with anybody else. Or feeling like I'm easily forgettable. Or feeling like my thoughts and contributions just aren't worth anything, or they're just not paying off. Or ultimately, this all just kind of circumvents around that whole idea of just feeling very unimportant. And it's weird, I do understand entirely where this insecurity stems from, but I do want to save that for another video because I don't want to dig too deep into it right now. This just isn't the time. But even after experiencing this for so many years, I still just haven't been able to figure out how to overcome it or how to fix it. And that's the most annoying part for me, because me naturally being a kind of person who likes to fix things, I just don't know how to do this. And, you know, I don't always feel like I can talk to people about this, because this isn't one of those things I can really talk to people to, just because I feel like it's just going to be one of those things that I'm going to have to figure out for myself, and that's fine. But it's also one of those things where I feel like when I do talk to people about it, I really just end up feeling more out of place or more invisible, I guess you could say. So kind of counterproductive, and it sucks because, you know, I don't want to hold that against anyone or like hold that to anyone, just because, you know, it's not their intention, it's not who they are, they don't know that they're doing this. I know, like, at the end of the day, it's just like a me thing, it's not a them thing, it's no one's fault at all except for maybe my own. But I just can't wrap my head around why I feel this way sometimes, and it's really frustrating. But regardless, as of lately, I have been, you know, working a lot, and I have been having a lot of opportunities to take my mind off of it, and I've been getting to apply myself a lot more. And so I wouldn't say that it really affects me so much now than it used to. I guess lately I've been feeling a little bit more confident in the fact that the things that I'm doing on a daily basis are making an impact in some shape or form, if that makes sense. You know, I don't really feel like I sink so much into depression as of lately, because just don't have time to really think about things that make me sad, if that makes sense. But someday I would really like to get to the bottom of this, and who knows, maybe I will even be able to do it from this project. Maybe I'll be able to finally understand where it comes from and how to overcome it and fix it. So we're gonna fucking see. Basically, just to wrap this up, I wanted to see if I can try and open up a discussion for anybody else who may experience some of the same things that I talked about in this video. I wanted to open up a discussion between myself and you, the viewers, all 6 of you. You know, everybody has their own kind of personal struggles. You know, I named mine earlier, and I'm sure that all of you guys have your own personal struggles, and so I know that there are things that probably get you down too, and so maybe we can kind of get a discussion going about how you guys overcome it and how you guys pull yourselves out of it. I just want to know what works for you, and who knows, someone else might see it, and hey, that could be something that they could try as well, so maybe you could ultimately be helping someone else, which would be good. But just a couple of questions that I had. Do any of you guys feel like your experiences are similar to mine at all? Like, do you guys feel like any of you go through the same things that I talked about or anything that I've gone through? Do you guys feel like it's hard for you guys to open up about things like this, kind of like it was for me? Feel free to leave a comment down below, only if you feel comfortable though. But at the end of it, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. It really means a lot to me. Hope you guys will like this video with the thumbs up down here if you guys enjoyed hearing what I had to say. And please be sure to subscribe to this channel where I will have another question, another topic lined up for you. And I promise it won't be as depressing as this video about depression. But yeah, thank you again so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again, guys. Have a good one.